Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. How are you doing this morning, Ben?
Yeah, Liquid versus Alliance. I did not expect Alliance to be facing off versus Liquid in the lower bracket.
No?
Saw some of the games earlier.
Yeah.
Big Daddy owned them
Really?
with Meepo. Yeah, it was totally bad.
It was a little bit rough.
It was super rough.
Well, it looks like they are going to be able to make it into it this time around, so pretty exciting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We're already into the draft. Any predictions before we get started out in terms of who you think is going to win this one?
Probably Liquid. Decently easy 2-0. I thought the same about Monkey Business though.
All right, well.
So, what about you?
I probably would agree with you, but just because I feel like we need to have a little bit of like
Spice.
a little bit of spice to our life. Exactly. I'm going to say Alliance. I believe in the Power. They're the Alliance, and already going to be having it start off with the Tusk into the Queen of Pain, Undying Winter Wyvern. And you said you felt like we've seen this type of draft before. Particular heroes are very common.
It's a solid opener.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I saw them play Undying though. It wasn't like super great though. So I'm not sure if I like the Undying just because Alliance I view actually more as a late game team. They tend to, unless S4 goes crazy in his lane, the games tend to drag on pretty long for them. And Undying is just one of the heroes that's not useful later, unless you get an Alchemist, which is still open. We've
Yeah,
seen him
definitely.
first banned a lot.
Well, and speaking of Alchemist, there is always that Aghanim Scepter upgrade that you end up being able to give to people. What do you think about the Undying with the Aghanims and that his potential to scale into the late game? Do you think that's actually still viable, or do you still kind of fall off there?
It's kind of my Alchemist is so fat that I need other people to start doing stuff.
Okay.
But it also takes Alchemist like 5 minutes to farm it, whereas it would take Undying like 25.
Right.
So that's a lot of time saved.
Definitely. We also see the Lich Band out here, as well as the Ember Spirit, Night Stalker, and the Shadow Fiend. Alliance with the third pick now. They could go for a support at this point in time. Do you think that it's sort of worth it to try and... You mentioned that they like to go into the late game. Or is it worth trying to go into these heroes that scale a little bit better as you go further? Or is it, with the Undying, considering he does have that sort of fall-off piece of time, that they might try and go for a little bit more of a pushing strat here?
I think it's safer. They're on the brink of elimination, and generally teams like to shore up on their late game, I would say a lot, especially versus a team like Liquid that doesn't make any like huge glaring errors that let you end the game early. And it looks like our wish will be fulfilled.
All right. Seeing it here. This is Naga Siren, a little fishy. It's going to be picked up now as well. Hey! It's a lot of team fight stuff coming out already. You got a good amount of control there. Song's great. I do feel like Naga Siren, if you play it in that support role, is pretty great for being able to go into an aggressive tri-lane occasionally. I feel like also, obviously if you play it defensively, it can be good as well. But the minus armor that you get out of Riptide can definitely be a pretty big boon in the early game.
It's good counter initiation versus Winter's Curse. You can build up massive amounts of zombies with a song. Oh,
Wow.
I see your late game. I raise you another late game.
There we go. That's what's
Actually,
up.
we don't know if Naga's going to be core, but judging by what we've seen from Alliance, it is usually core.
Yeah, definitely. A little loving that hero. And I think that this is kind of an interesting one. Obviously, two illusion heroes, but play incredibly differently. Naga Siren, a bit like the PL of old in terms of how she plays it to some extent. I feel like it's pretty much still going to be the sort of the Radiance build up quickly, and the Scarith Mage going to be the next one. Not a hero that we've seen a ton in these qualifiers. What do you think about the Scarith Mage there?
People like it versus Winter Wyvern when Cold Embrace comes out.
Mm.
Ooh, yeah, the Fada Master.
Pretty cool Fada Master, definitely. I think I saw a Beastmaster the other day just go like no wild axe build, and he just ended up going straight for the push, and it was pretty disgusting.
Beast build.
Yeah, the beast build, exactly. I don't feel like might not see that this time around.
I think this is a pretty good pickup, especially if they have a fourth aggressive hero. They can actually just find the Naga Siren a lot and kill her with a snowball, with a roar, whatever it may be. They don't have that great of defensive tools for the Naga Siren herself, especially if off farming in the jungle. So really important that Alliance gets some map control early. They don't really have anything to combo with the Mystic Flitter. It's pretty much, oh, you get Cold Embrace? Okay, let me dump my ult on you. Unless Naga Siren gets ensnare, which is highly unlikely considering the situation.
Right, yeah, definitely. And I think that this is going to be a little bit tough here. They do end up banning out that Dazzle last one and make sure that they don't have one of these heroes that can keep somebody alive. And there he is, Batrider coming on out. Mr. S4 potentially going to be playing that one. Do you think that that's who's going to pick this one up here?
Who? What?
Do you think that S4 maybe picks this one
definitely.
up here?
Actually, it could be either. We've seen Bulldog play it a fair amount, so.
Right.
But this confirms Core Siren.
Right. Definitely. Well, Batrider going to be in play this time around for Alliance. We do still have one more pick out of Team Liquid. I think this is kind of interesting here. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a little bit tough to be able to find the real PL, but if you are able to take down PL and not take down PL, but take down his illusions and reveal which one is the real one, a great hero to be able to pull out of the team fight. I do think it's a little bit strange. Winter Wyvern against Batrider being able to disengage the lasso. Anything there that you feel like?
I think it's bigger deal the Tusk. I've seen some Tusks. They get blink and they just blink follow up after the lasso and just snowball the guy, and then you're like, well, there goes my initiation. But at the same time, when I first saw Alliance trying to run Batrider, I was like, I was very skeptical, and S4 has made it work where many other players have just kind of failed. So I think it's good in the sense that if they get in a real pickle, which they might because of the Naga Siren core, they can still hold high ground. And on top of that, if he manages to win his lane, let's say if it's S4 versus the mid Beastmaster, then he can actually create so much space for Naga Siren that PL might not be able to farm. But that's unlikely.
Yeah.
But it is synergy with Skywrath. They can actually kill people with Mystic Flare. But they do have, as you said, a lot of counter initiation. Even Winter's Curse is good, I would say, because the cast point is so low on that.
Right. Well, and Roar, too. I mean, there's a lot of ways that this can get broken up. I think it's going to come down to positioning again, sort of the how quick are your fingers necessarily, and obviously in pro games, pretty freaking quick. The CM was the last ban out as well, so potentially looking for that girl. We're going to see the Silencer picked up. Another, I think, pretty decent one here as well. If you're able to catch the Batrider as he blinks in, that's a pretty good opportunity there.
They won't be using Global mostly. I mean, you would ideally want to use Winter's Curse, I would say, or Blink Snowball, or Roar, or dodge it with Juxtapose. I think those are, or Doppelganger rather. Those are your ideal ways to try and get out of the Batrider initiation. Silencer's ult is more for higher priority things, so like killing Naga Siren or killing Queen of Pain and just shutting her down and making it just 5 versus Naga Siren in the later game.
That is kind of an interesting component there. I'm wondering if they're going to be able to have the damage to take down the Naga in the early game. I mean, obviously, once you end up getting the Silencer ulti coming online, you're going to be able to make it happen from wherever, and Tusk potentially roaming on in to deal a lot of damage there. So very, very cool. Set up for the lineups. This is going to be the best of 3. Team Liquid versus Alliance. Pretty cool about this one, and starting it off right here. Any predictions in terms of how you feel like the draft ended up going? Is there a draft that you favor?
I like Liquids a lot more.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I think Core Naga it's revealed too early, I would say, for Alliance. I generally like it if you like sneak it in close to the end of the draft, or your draft is like so strong without it that it's fine, which is kind of the case in this one. But a lot of people think that Alliance is going to run like a Spectre, an Anti-Mage, a Naga Siren in the safe lane with the 4 Protect 1, and 4 Protect 1 is out of flavor.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Liquids more.
Well, there you go. Maybe going to bring the flavor back to this strategy.
I mean, you could buy like 5 mangoes and it would bring the flavor right back. And he does have a mango. That's the build.
That's definitely the build. We also saw one on PL though, so Mango Gaming against Mango Gaming. A little bit dangerous.
Now I have to root for both teams.
Yeah, it's good. So much tropical flavor. Really great start there. And Batrider looking to do a bottle rush here as well. Should be able to get it pretty quickly if he's able to get the bounty rune. Bulldog sitting over here by the top one. I don't think that they can really contest this at all. There's a lot of damage coming out. And Fata should be able to get this no problem.
It's hard to deal with Arctic Burn early. You cannot contest that rune.
Yeah. And S4, for some reason it's bugged out and it says that this bounty rune's still here, but clearly did get picked up there by S4 and should have his bottle here in just a second. They do actually spot out My Nuts as well, who ended up taking the blink first. Going to deal a little bit of damage to Kuroki. He's back on out. Big deal.
Ake's not actually starting up bottom, which is, I think, a little bit scary. It's not that great of a matchup for Naga Siren. She still needs a lot of babysitting in the early game, especially with Mind Control doing some Frost Shards tricks to bring it close to his tower.
He's going to move on down there as well. Yeah, it's a little bit tough. The matchup, I have to say, is a little bit rough against the... oh, maybe going to be able to do with a little bit of Arctic Burn damage here, actually. Minut's taking some harassment. You have the Glaives up, so that pure damage, while not high, definitely deals well with any heroes that have relatively decent armor. And Undying with 3, Queen of Pain with 1. Just goes right through that. Kuroki taking some harassment for it as well, though.
Yep, they have better sustain though with Golden Brace, and Phantom Lancer has a lot. Minuts is already having to get a Tango pull to him from Bulldog.
Right. Oh, there's going to be a little bit of a nuke laid down on top of Admiral Bulldog as well. The separation. Fata does have 7 stacks, or for a second there, of the sticky napalm as well. That's really difficult in that matchup. You're able to get it sustained pretty consistently with it.
Oh, S4 doesn't even have Firefly. I've seen him change up his builds a lot. Most of the time I see him go 1-1-1 into like 1-1-2, I would say, but this time he's going 2-1-0. Maybe hoping that early Flame Break burst will catch someone off guard.
Well, he had the ton of stacks up there on him, so being able to get even just 1 or 2 Wild Axes comes out, going to deal a little bit more damage. Fata pretty confident in his ability to trade hits here with this Batrider.
Looks like a top rune contest might happen.
Yeah, only level 1 on this Queen of Pain is going to be able to secure the rune for S4. And Minut's just going to stick around for a second. He's not having the best time in lane here, so I do find this a little bit strange at this point. This is like the roaming support Queen of Pain, I guess.
It's not that bad. It has so much reach with the Queen of Pain that often you can, if people just even slightly overextend.
Oh, Ake, bottom lane. Oh, Ake. A little bit unfortunate there.
Luckily for them, they had a tiny bit of vision from the Observer War, but what a nice play.
Yeah.
Scooting those shards up.
I'm not sure if he tossed something out. I feel like he might have tossed an Arcane Bolt out, and that's how they knew he was up there, and just threw the shards. It does look like Mind Control is going to deny himself to Roche as well after buying out.
Overall, not shaping up to a terribly great early game for Alliance, although S4 is doing well on his quest to blink. It's hard for him to go for a kill on Fata, though, because even with Firefly, he's still going to get slowed by the boar. So it's not that great, and they also don't have anyone stacking for the Radiant side. Skyras mostly, been trying to do stuff in the mid and the bottom lane, and S4 has been trying to get the CS in mid, so they don't have any.
Well, and if you leave Loda alone for too long, this does become very difficult as Tusk continues to get levels. So
yeah, he got first blood too.
Really rough. I think also here as well that if you end up looking at this matchup, I do actually like the Flame Break pickup early, because if he tries to push too far forward onto Fata, with the slow coming out from the board, it's really easy to overextend. And Beastmaster very high base damage at 75 at this point in time. So it's going to be dealing a little bit of damage here, trying to clear out the creep wave with the Firefly. Probably just back out afterwards. Oh, Snowball bottom lane. Mind Control is going to be dropping low now. Skywrath Mage making his presence felt, and one more hit should be enough. He ends up taking the blood back. And Naga Siren staying alive as well. Mango Gaming going to make sure he regens right back up.
Another rune for Fata, the real rune, the Blueberry.
Oh, yeah.
Whichever one of these heroes in the mid gets like the haste or the DD, it's actually not DD so much for Batrider, but the real runes are really important so they can get kills with their level 6s. Although Batrider actually doesn't get his ultimate until a little bit later. Mana cost being a huge problem if you opt for the Flame Break build.
Yeah. Well, more harassment up top lane. Tombstone is down, but it ends up getting killed by those illusions so quickly. Admiral Bulldog dropping really low, is going to be able to stay alive through this one, though. Maybe one more nuke. He does have his Mango, ends up popping it, trying to get vision. Oh, this could actually be the kill right here. 1, 2, 3, right clicks. Silencer actually ends up getting it, stealing a little bit of intelligence for his troubles as well, and Minuts can only look on in sadness as his poor Undying ended up dying.
It's not a great pocket to be in unless you have Tangos. You want to be able to eat your way out. They didn't even really get punished for that at all. That was a pretty deep dive. Oh,
Oh,
Kuro.
here we go. Kuro dropping a little bit low as well. The Bulldog TP back in. Nice cold embrace, keeping him alive. Oh, Splinter Blast coming out also. Man, as soon as he comes back into lane, just getting punished again. Didn't have Tombstone for that last one.
That lane is just not a good lane for Undying. Silencer plus Winter Wyvern is extremely strong at dishing out a lot of damage.
And a couple of solid slows as well. You've got the Spirit Lance, which ends up getting the 20% slow, level 2 there, as well as obviously the Arctic Burn.
Just a surprising amount of right click that's pretty much good in any situation. Fada and Mind Control trying to contest his bottom rune.
Ake's here as well. Gets the Embrace off. No, one time. Not going to be able to deal enough damage. Ake dropping a little bit low, but S4 is here as well. There is the lasso. Fata is going to be able to fall, but 4 heroes rotated for it. Think that that's worth it up there?
I don't think so. That's a big kill. Getting Fada this early in the game.
Yeah.
Fada's really good about managing his gold. It looks like he bought out before he ended up dying. But you want Beastmaster to continue getting runes and be able to stack at every minute. And with this kill secured, especially for the Bat Rider, that's going to be 10-minute blink, I would say. Maybe even 9.
Yeah, he becomes a real terror.
If no mud gloves.
Yeah.
And you want to have that sort of presence on the bottom side of the map. And the two supports are doing very good work on the top, but Naga does not feel threatened at all.
Yeah, she's been able to get whatever she wanted here.
Still, it's going to be, if they take down this tower top, looks like they already starting to right-click it. As I see Kuro throw some glaives out. As soon as that happens, they can switch over to the bottom lane. Although, it's going to be too late to try and contest these stacks. Which didn't stack.
Uh-oh.
I think he tried to go for a double stack.
Oh, yeah.
One from Queen of Pain and one from the Bat Rider.
Gotcha.
That would have been blink, I think, if they had gotten those stacks off.
And then they are able to come on up here to contest this a little bit more. Minot's taking a little bit of harassment there. Splinter Blast out as well as Arctic Burn. Bulldog's up here as well. Going to be able to chase down Matumbo Man. There's the Doppelganger away, trying to get a little bit of separation. So, well, yeah, they're going to be okay. They can just hit these zombies right here and no problem at all. Actually, they were able to kill it.
Yeah, those illusions actually just do full damage on the Tombstone. That's really bad for him.
Wrecks Undying. Jeez.
Yeah, he's going to have to place it on, like, high cliffs.
There is the cliff that's right up over here that you can potentially place it on. I feel like that might have actually gotten patched. That looks a little bit different than it did before. But a little bit unfortunate that that ended up working out that way. And so far, I feel like Liquid's a little bit further ahead at this point, just by game flow somewhat. Well, Fata did end up dying, and I guess that you're going to be able to get an S4 Blink Dagger pretty soon here as well.
I'd expect Alliance to be down like 1,000 gold at this point.
Yeah.
And it's break even, so yeah, maybe Alliance favored at this point. This is right before the Blink Dagger too, so it's about a good time to get a smoke, get a kill, get level 6 on Queen, and keep getting kills. And try and limit those support levels on Liquid. You don't want them to get 6.
Loda does have level 8 now also, so he can just be left alone here. Does have this lane ward as well. Anytime trouble comes around, he can just
Ake, is he going to be the smoke tank?
Might be. It's actually
They don't want him.
important.
You do not want to kill Ake. You'll get the intel, but you really want the prized Naga Siren.
They are going to spot him out. Yeah, they actually just leave him alone. That's awesome.
Oh.
All right, rotation coming in as well over here to the side. Tusk is coming in. They are going to, well, they opt to go on him. Roar used as well on the Skywrath. There's going to be the Naga Siren ult. He wanted to save, but there's Snowball forward as well.
Oh, no.
I think she's still going to be able to get out of here. Actually, doesn't have a TP, though. Oh, this could be a dive
She
right
tried
here.
to TP. She got snowballed as she was TPing.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes a lot more sense then. And I guess that, yeah, she's just going to be able to walk away from this one if she wants.
Is that even worth trying to save a Skywrath with her ulti?
It's a long cooldown. It makes farming a lot more dangerous for her now.
I don't think so with level 1 ulti. Level 2 ulti, it's kind of decent.
Well, certainly not worth since she didn't end up saving him, but even if she did.
It's not like Skywrath can anti-push. Let's say it's a kill into a tower. They're going to do the same thing regardless of whether or not Skywrath is alive.
Yeah.
Especially when he's so under level. Level 4 Skywrath is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But Still decent smoke timing from them. Batrider looks like he's trying to take out some farm on the top lane, and PL is forced to move out. 1,500 gold on him. Looks like a BOT rush, especially with the Beastmaster on his side.
Yeah, that's really great there. The combination of being able to TP right in on top of one of those little boars.
It's kind of nice that Loda didn't TP out, actually, because he's able to kind of stall the push. So you've had 3 heroes, 4 heroes, I would say, in the bottom lane, and they didn't actually get any damage on the tower. They spent a couple of ultimates.
They didn't really farm out the jungle either, and looks like we're going to have a return smoke going the other way with Batrider here as well.
Yeah, Fada has really good game sense, so his Hawk's already on top of where he expects them to be.
Right.
And now that no one's there, he's very suspicious.
Yeah. Smart play here. And he does have people backing him up as well. If they actually go for this, Winter's Curse not up, though. That's a key component to this.
They can't see. They don't have any vision up this hill.
All right, there's the jump forward. Able to catch with the lasso, but immediately Cold Embrace. Tombstone is down as well. Sonic Wave catches, but the snowball is keeping him alive. Mind Control taking a little bit of damage. They're going to opt to go and straight down, take down this Tombstone. TPing away by Mind Control again. He's able to get out, and nobody ends up dying in that engagement. And throughout this whole time, though, both of the carries were actually farming. So I feel like that's kind of a wash. You did end up not being able to make anything of the Sonic Wave and the Batrider ulti.
That's a win for Liquid. Those are big ultimates, especially with the. I mean, it wasn't really a blink reveal, but it's still Batrider needs to get kills, unless you go a BOT build, in which case you can creep skip and farm opponents' neutrals. But that's not the build that he opted for this game.
A little bit more harassment over here in the top lane as well. Now Naga going against PL, and Illusions versus Illusions. Tumble Man. Naga the Siren denying the tower as well. So a little bit of a comeback there for Alliance, but still expended a lot, and they needed to get some kills there, I felt like.
Now the Undying, it's been 12 minutes. There's been 5 kills in this game, 0 that Bulldog have been involved in, and now you're like, wow, I don't really want to have Undying in my team in this sort of situation. You're trying to stall until Naga gets big, and you haven't really been able to get any kills with the Tombstone because the Phantom Laser has destroyed your Tombstone a few times, and you don't have an Alk to feed him a Scepter later, and the best use that you're going to get out of him is Song into Tombstone, but you don't really want your Naga Siren to set up fights until super late in the game, in which case you probably would have had a different offlaner. So I don't think it's going to work out for them that well that they
Tumba Man
had
here.
them
He's
dying.
going to end up getting a little bit caught. Oh, S4 might be in a bit of trouble here. Is going to try and Firefly. TP on cooldown. Roar is going to get used, and that's a dead Batrider. Oh, that's really too bad. He had a chance there to take out the PL.
He doesn't have a ganking partner right now.
Yeah.
Skyrest still level 5. Queen of Pain has her ultimate on cooldown and trying to get a kill on Jerix.
Does look like he is going to end up going down, though, there. So
Looks like I'm just constantly seeing little flyers run over terrain and try to avoid death.
yeah, and that's kind of an interesting little dynamic there as well. A lot of mobility in this game here. I will say, not only is it that Undying isn't going to be able to make a ton happen with this combo that you've got, but considering the PL is, you know, doing, as you mentioned, full damage with these illusions, it's even worse to have an Undying on your team than you normally would have. Like, those tombstones are just going to drop instantaneously in the middle of a team fight.
We've seen a lot of Undying shift to a 1-4-4 or a 4-1-4 builds with early max decay to try and counteract the somewhat nerfs to the tombstone in the early game.
Yeah.
And it's decent, but I don't know how long he's going to be able to survive, especially with like a silencer. It's not the best build to go this game. You'd much rather have the synergy with a tombstone.
Yeah.
They have global now. It's not going to be an easy fight. And Liquid, they are really prepared for the Batrider ganks. S4 hasn't been able to wreak too much havoc.
He hasn't really accelerated his farm a ton either. Like, he hasn't been able to get that quick force staff afterwards. The stacks haven't really been there, and I don't know. The Naga Siren also still pretty far away from Radiance, and it kind of feels like they need a little bit more damage at this point in time out of their carry if they want to fight. There's sort of like a dyssynergy here because you have the Undying who wants to do stuff early and the Naga Siren who wants to do stuff late, and normally you'd be able to make space, but it just hasn't been able to happen. Snowball in again. Global silence. My nuts is going to end up falling here. S4 soon to follow. One more hit is going to be enough, I believe. Yes, he ends up going down. 2 kills so far for Alliance, and Tombstone down quickly afterwards. The whole time up in the top lane, Naga Siren's able to farm away, but to what end is kind of what I'm feeling like at this point.
And Phantom Lancer can get involved early. All he has is BOTs, but at least he can, close in and kill people and slow people for his team, and at least as sort of a meat shield or deal with the tombstone. And off you have this Naga Siren who still has her ultimate on cooldown.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. She did end up using it in the top lane to get away from another gank that was coming in, but still, it's looking very, very deadly. Quap actually picks up an Urn at this point, so the sort of supporty Quap is level 8 now, has Sonic Wave up, as well as an Urn. They want to be able to get kills and make room around the map, but it's just so difficult at this point in time. Undyne is also farming on up a Mechanism, but the way that he wants to be able to farm this up is by taking kills, and they just haven't been able to really materialize. And then into the Winter Wyvern, gonna Dutch dodge. Gets ensnared. Oh, maybe going to be able to make something happen over here. We do see the Bat Rider ulti used, but this is on a Winter Wyvern at this point. Queen of Pain ends up getting the kill and the bounty rune. I don't know.
You're happy with what you can get.
Yeah.
They still hold a tier 1, so Liquid aren't able to transition any of their kills into huge objectives. They want bottom tower, they want mid tower, they want to prevent Naga from being able to stack, do camps like this, and she's closing in on her Relic. Yeah. They still have decent split push, though, I would say, on the Dire. We see Beastmaster still stay with his brown boots, opening up the Boots of Travel later, as well as the Phantom Lancer, who already has Boots of Travel, and that's a step in the right direction if you want to prepare for Naga Siren, is having heroes that can split push out lanes and then contribute to team fights, so your other teammates don't get isolated.
Do you feel like Liquid have the better late game, or Alliance might have the better late game here in this situation?
I think that Liquid probably does, just because Silencer just kind of X's out 3 of their heroes. Right. Undying, Queen of Pain, as well as Skyrat. And if you get like a Snowball or a Roar or a Winter's Curse, you can immediately follow up with a Global, and 3 of those heroes can do nothing. And I would say Naga's late game is definitely slightly better than PL's, because she can farm the whole entire map, but I don't really think that warrants the other heroes' uselessness versus the global. Okay.
So it's really going to be, as we were talking about, that 4 Protect 1, being able to make that happen. Oh, Bat Rider ends up catching, but there's the Winter's Curse. Kuroki still dropping low, does end up getting held. Oh, the Cold Embrace was on the Siege creep. A little bit unfortunate there, that ended up happening. But 1 kill again, a Silencer. Alliance bringing it back a little bit, starting to look a little bit stronger.
That's the best hero for them to catch out, is the Silencer.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're really quick with the lasso into Mystic Flare, then they can actually counteract the global silence just by wasting using those 2 ultimates to kill someone and trading it for global and a hero in return. So that's something to consider.
Yeah. Well,
that was a really quick jump too. I don't know if like Phantom Lancer is going to have the reaction speed to dodge a lasso like that.
Roar on S4. Meanwhile, over in the mid lane as well, Undyne ends up popping his ulti, trying to keep a little bit of separation there. Admiral Bulldog is going to end up going. Silence dropped as well. Minuts does end up getting hit with the Diffusal Blade. So quick already on the farm. A Tumbleman making it happen, and this is going to end up being a tier 1 tower gone in just a second, I do believe. Flame Break, top of just about everybody, but... All right, so this is kind of what I feel like they need as well. As I feel like Liquid are in a point right now. Now you have the Necronomicon level 2 up on Beastmaster. Do they really try and prioritize the push at this point, or is it okay for them to back out afterwards?
Map control.
Okay.
Map control, map control, map control. They don't have to get a gem, but they can still de-ward. And now, after winning that fight, they can set up wards in the jungle. And have Hawk, let's say, on the left side where it's a little blind for them. And then they have Observer Ward for the right side. And they also have Roche potential with the Beastmaster. So all in all, it's shaping up to be not so great of a mid game for Alliance. However, the Radiance is about to be online. 19 minutes.
There we go.
Decent with the Arcane Boots.
She hasn't died yet. Like, she's 003, so has been part of 3 kills, but has been able to keep herself from dying, which I think, we've been talking a lot about the fact that we feel like Liquid have been able to build a league by being a little bit more efficient with their ganks and finding the targets due to a little bit of luck occasionally as well. But Loda's been able to play this pretty well, I feel like, considering everything else. And now they have the Radiance, maybe a little bit of a turnaround.
They haven't used that many smokes. I think Liquid are kind of hoarding their smokes for a more opportune time in the game when they can transition. I think he might have died a little bit more. Maybe they want like a blink dagger or some sort of instant initiation so they don't get caught out dead in the water against Song of the Siren. So it's, if they had used their smokes and been like, oh, and Naga Siren has survived, I think that's pretty good. But he's been playing a bit carefully. Like free farming Naga, I'd say it's like 15-minute radiance, 15, 16-minute. Maybe with Arcane 17. So it's 3 minutes for no deaths. That's, I'd say, actually pretty good.
Nice. Well, certainly going to try and do the most with it that you can. And this is the point where Naga can really start to become a very much anti-push hero and creating a lot of problems for this lineup from Liquid that's trying to capitalize a little bit on the team fights they've been able to win. Smoke on up, potentially going to go on through the jungle now as well.
So this is what, their second smoke, I think, of the game?
Yeah, and I do also like a lot, they're showing 2 heroes in lane as well, so this is going to catch Admiral Bulldog out. Not necessarily the Naga who they wanted to catch out, but the Roar used as well. This is going to be enough to kill the Tombstone.
I don't know if that's worth it either. If you saw Loda, he immediately pinged out on this Observer Ward. He's like, there's no way they can snowball from the fog without vision during nighttime. And it's not even, they don't even suspect that it's a hawk. He just pinged out on the ward without vision.
Nice.
So if you're in Liquid shoes, how many heroes can actually deal with a Naga in terms of just pushing out the lanes? I guess Beastmaster as well as Phantom Lancer, which is really good for you. You don't really have supports being able to push out lanes. I guess maybe a little bit of Winter Wyvern, but he's not that great at pushing out lanes.
Right.
And because you can identify these 2 heroes as the main culprits for pushing out against Naga, you can kind of gear your ganks towards ganking heroes that are going to be pushing out lanes, as opposed to counter ganking Liquid. I think that's what you're looking for. Those are the gank opportunities.
Well, so do you think then as well that if you are going to be sending these heroes out to push out the lanes, it's still worth it to try and commit several other heroes for smoke ganks, or is it more worth it to keep those lanes pushed out?
Ideally, you'd have a hero that can like contribute, that can push out lanes and contribute, like the Global Silencer or Global Silence from Silencer, but they don't have a great option like that unless they have the BOTs. So they just have to push out lanes very safely and then BOT in with the rest of their team so they don't get caught out, or use Hawk to scout out for these potential ganks, make them blow smokes. But it's really close in the balance right now. I think if Dire gets like 1 or 2 man pickoff, they can easily get Roche, whereas Alliance, they probably need like a 3 or 4 hero pickoff in order to get Roche, and neither team really willing to give ground. They're sacrificing towers because they don't want to take the risk of getting picked off when they split push.
Right, and here we go, right at the start of this one. Maybe going to be able to be that big team fight, and if they're able to make it happen, turnaround Song of the Siren is popped. Really good positioning right here. Loda is going to be able to catch absolutely everybody pretty much. Sonic Wave immediately down on top of a couple, going to be able to snowball forward. Roar used as well. Ake dropping low. That's going to be a Skyrat dead right at the start. Admiral Bulldog still staying alive. That's going to be a Winter's Curse on top of S4. Gets force staffed away, trying to create a little bit more separation. Another forward jump. Matumbo Man dropping low now as well. Minut's dealing a lot of damage here. Queen of Pain already dropped the Winter Wyvern, and now the Tusk kills the Bat Rider. Another turnaround. Liquid looking good after a really solid initiation there by the Naga Siren. Matumbo Man still very low. Radiance Burn abound. He needs to get away from this illusion. Oh, Doppelganger in 1 second. This is going to be Minut Slice. Maybe? Does he stay alive here? Oh, God. Does
Loda's
not
getting
have a
so
TP.
many kills, though.
Oh, my God. Double kill.
Turn off your Radiance.
Oh, my God. Oh,
okay,
no.
He did turn it off.
So at the end of the day, what looked to be great at various stages of that team fight, Alliance come ahead there.
Yeah, the Naga Siren was able to split her illusions about. That was a really good sleep, by the way. He was able to catch everyone out. The Tombstone was in a awful position. I think if he drops it like down the cliff, it would have been much better. It died immediately after, and that's kind of a waste of the Tombstone build up because that's pretty much what you're setting the song up for, as well as the Scream, I suppose. Although Scream not as big of a deal.
They did get a pretty solid one off. I think it hit about 3 heroes, if I'm not mistaken, and very well done. Queen of Pain as well is going to be going for this Yule Scepter. I think that this is really going to help them out a lot. Next items on the Naga Siren, does she go for this very much the farming build into the Octarine after these Boots of Travel, or do you try and go for something a little bit more fighty at this point? Oh God, Drax in the bottom lane is going to end up dying here. Cold Embrace or not.
The thing is, Octarine is fighty. It puts the opposite team in a bad position because they have to decide whether or not to split push out lanes or try and deal with the Naga when their lanes are pushed in. So Manta is a fight build, I suppose.
Okay.
I mean, what other thing would there be?
I mean,
Diffusal.
Diffusal
Diffusal's
plays
not
more.
good without
Yeah.
Manta. So Octarine is fine too. I would say you can pick fights for your team a lot better when you have the luxury of having infinite uptime with your illusions.
She does have 3K in the bank right now too. She's farm.
Yeah, she's farm. That was the dream fight for Alliance, where Naga's still alive. You get a few kills at the end, and PL dies to the Radiance burn.
Yeah, it was great.
He was really good at microing those illusions, though. So we saw so many heroes trickle down to the Radiance because he was able to split all 3 of them onto low HP targets.
Well, and it's not something that you often see, is the teams spread out enough that if they were all grouped together, they were going to be able to do it. Like, I think that Liquid also is doing a good job of trying to spread out and get away from that Radiance burn, and a little bit too much.
They didn't want to go for a team fight build because they're versus the Naga Center. You're not going to get the opportunity to team fight very often. So instead of going for like an early mech, they have to go for more late game items like a BOT and Necro 3. Those scale a little bit better, but it would have been much safer for them to go to a mech so they don't lose a big team fight like that and then lose all sort of momentum in the game.
Right, definitely, and we'll see how it ends up going from here. I think that at this point, do you feel like Liquid has to really try and up the push now that Naga Siren's been able to get this item? Like, do they? It seems like it's so hard to 5-man against this lineup, and you can't really do it because all your other lanes are going to be pushing out.
They need to be able to sneak in Roche at some point. I think it's probably step number one. Phantom Lancer just needs more items. He needs like Manta Diffusal, and then they can maybe fight before Naga gets too big. But after losing that team fight, Naga Siren's going to have Octarine. She pretty much already has Octarine, and then by the time you're able to take a large team fight, she can have Butterfly or Diffusal or whatever she wants to get, and PL's going to be super far behind. He's already 3,500 gold in the deficit relative to Naga Siren, and I think that's only going to get worse considering where these illusions are. They're knocking at the TA3s in mid and top lane.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, cutting the creep wave here as well, they're going to be able to push this out, and it does look like Liquid is going to try to do whatever they can to take down these towers. They did end up taking down the bottom tier 2, but as you mentioned, it's really difficult now. You're going to have to commit a lot of resources to keep these lanes pushed out, and if you're not careful when you try and disengage from them, you're going to end up getting caught here. Really scary. I feel like... So you feel like Liquid at this point just needs to try and avoid fights until you end up getting more items on PL?
They need just smart ganks, and that I think actually has to do with the BOT usage. With BOTs, you can actually just smoke 3 people and then BOT in on a smoked Hawk, and then you can get the jump. But they don't have any Blink Daggers aside from the one on Tusk, but even that's not ideal. It's not enough burst damage. You want like a Blink Roar or something on the Naga Siren. A Tusk doesn't lock her down long enough, and even now she has, I think, too much HP for them to burst a Naga Siren down. So if they can find Alliance when a couple of heroes are away, ideally Batrider or Naga, but I think you'd probably settle for a support kill at this point. But I don't think they're going to split up. They have the gem on the Batrider, and everyone's just huddling around Naga Siren because she is so big.
Yeah, PL did just pick on up Manta. We'll see if he's going to be able to make something happen with that one. It does create a little bit more damage. They're going to be able to drain away the mana slightly more quickly. And if you're able to take some of that mana off of the Naga, it can help. You're going to be able to get rid of the splash, get rid of the ensnare as well.
If your illusions survive, he only has some stats from Manta and then minor stats from Aquila and Magic Stick.
Forward Walrus Punch. I'm not sure if that was the play. Global Silence does get dropped as well. Might be a little bit much committed here. Snowballing back to try and save himself alive. Kuroki, though, dropping so low. This is going to be another kill there on top of the Tusk and the Silencer. Did already use the Silence. Fata dropping low off to the side as well. Jirax, Winter's Curse off onto Loda. But to what end? Where's the follow-up? Not going to be there. PL trying to get back to be able to help out his team a little bit, but at this point, if he shows up, he's going to die too. They're diving tier 4s at this point in time. Who even cares? Ensnared down on top of Jirax, and that's going to be a Riptide, killing him as well. Oh, me, oh my.
Lose one team fight, lose to Naga. That's rough. There's so little room for error. You have to be able to pressure her a lot more early. I think we see teams try and dual lane against her a lot, but the thing is, they didn't even play super well in the off lane, but all they needed to do was commit both of the supports to the top lane to try and deal with the Undying. And that's where the Undying pick is really useful, is that they have to overcommit to one particular lane or dealing with the Undying in the early game, and that just frees up space for Naga.
Oh, ooh, that was close. Snowball almost caught her there at the end. But it does kind of feel like the Undyne has been a bit of an anemic pick in this game. They haven't really been able to have the pressure that you normally feel. And I kind of, well, excuse me, not what I'm saying at all. I felt like the Undyne, while he was a little bit of an anemic pick earlier, it's kind of been able to be made up for by the sort of fighting and strong presence you've been able to have in that first team fight.
I mean, he's not really a strong presence. He's just kind of a meat shield and a big dissuading factor. It's like, I don't want to take a fight against level 4 Tombstone, especially if it's placed on like a cliff or something like that. It's going to destroy them in the early game. So then that means they have to wait to 5-man a little bit later, when ideally you want to take down the towers a lot earlier. Remember, they had that like good smoke ink onto that mid side of the map as well as the bottom side of the map, but not able to knock down that T1 tower until far too long, until pretty much Nagasiren had her relic.
Right. So do you think, you mentioned at the start of this that you felt like Liquid's draft was still very strong. Do you think that they need to make changes to the draft, or is this an execution error here instead?
I think they needed to pressure the Naga from the get-go. They got first blood on the bottom lane, but that was on the support Skywrath, and Skywrath I don't actually think is that good in dealing with 1-on-2 scenarios. Okay. So maybe like Tusk +1, which is your classic pressure lane, able to at least hinder her farm in the early game. So they got a lot of kills, and they got runes, I would say, in the early game, but that doesn't really transition to winning versus a Nagasiren. You have to keep her Radiance timing like really, really late, or knock down the Bat Rider. So there are two supports where heavily concentrated on the top lane. I wouldn't really say it's like it's a execution error, because it's not like they played top lane badly. It's just their overall game plan wasn't terribly solid. It might have been better for Phantom Lancer to go a strong farming build instead. That's actually one thing that I think that could have been very, very different. Instead of actually trying to contest the Naga early, they can use him as a super beefy late gamer.
Right.
But the problem with that is Phantom Laser doesn't push out as well.
You mentioned also the mechanism and
the so I feel like they have committed to the early game.
Right.
Like if you get an early mech and then you get early BOTs plus like drums, let's say on Phantom Lancer, then you can actually fight a lot. Let's say Trez drums on PL.
Yeah.
So they committed like halfway to, hey, let's fight in 5-man early, especially with the silencer. I think you kind of want to fight in 5-man early, but they didn't really have the items to do so. They lost that one crucial fight on the top lane, and things probably would have been different had they actually gone more items for that particular time in the game. Looks like Mike is just going to get picked off.
Yeah, he does end up getting taken out there.
Or you go something super greedy, like you stack Ancients a lot for Beastmaster, you go Midas on Beastmaster, and you go just a heavy farming build instead of an early diffuse on Phantom Lancer. So that's a alternate universe that is, I wouldn't say it's necessarily better or worse, it's just different. I'd say you have to full commit to one or the other.
Okay. Well, certainly looking really good here for Alliance, and you know, I made the prediction here at the start that they're going to win, so clearly that means something.
Yeah, it means I need to throw Chip in there. Not. I'm surprised like Liquid weren't. This is one of Alliance's, like they run this strat very, very often. I would say this is a pretty simple 4-protect one without much room for error for the other team, and they didn't really have a good draft against it.
Yeah. Well, and we'll see if they're going to be able. Well, obviously this game isn't over yet. Every game is capable of being thrown, and with the PL in the game, you never know how to discount it. But certainly, it does look like Alliance have a very commanding lead. And if you take a look at net worth, up at the 10K mark, EXP as well.
Naga's too big.
Yeah, Naga's freaking huge.
And they have the sleep.
Yeah, they're very well prepared for this. Like you just saw so much damage expended by Mind Control to try and kill the illusion. Couldn't do it. Then you have the Queen of Pain jump in last second and just yell in his ear something about you guys are getting owned, and then he ends up going down there as well. Nagasiren, 2,800 gold in the bank. Ready for our next item. I think it might be Manta here, potentially.
She already has Manta.
Oh my god, yeah, she does. I just can't believe it, man. She's got so much stuff.
I like Butter a lot after this.
Okay.
Because it just makes it impossible for the supports to push out the lane. You can also go Heart. Heart, Diffusal, Butterfly, Scotty. These are your options.
I also like the reaction by Undyne. He knew that the Tombstone wasn't going to do a ton here in the
he has Greaves.
He ended up picking up Greaves.
Greaves is really good. You'll see that as the boots of choice for offlaners when they're facing a silencer, because you want to counter initiation. You don't want to just sit there with your team and just run away for 5 seconds. You want to be like, you want to immediately put out some pressure. So you Greaves, you throw it on Tombstone, and then they spend half the global trying to focus it down, and it's a good way to counter initiate global.
And now Naga Siren continuing to send these illusions in here. So difficult to kill at this point. Everybody's just
they're in all 3 lanes.
This is disgusting. Do end up catching the Tumbleman off to the side as well. Global Silence ends up getting dropped. They do end up Greaves immediately, keep themselves alive a little bit longer, trying to do whatever he can. These Naga Siren illusions just tearing them apart. Mind Control burning to that radiance damage, and My Nuts is just sitting up on the high ground, happy as a clam, can hit away at that range barracks. Melee barracks going down soon after as well. And I feel like at this point in time, this is getting close to GG territory. Bulldog up here as well, just a big old hunk of zombie flesh.
Just a meat shield.
Exactly. All right, that's for it. They're going to be able to take these barracks here, just right-clicking them with these illusions. They're so freaking tanky. 2,200 gold with the 17% miss chance as well. Look at how much they're burning right now. Kuroki's almost dead. Oh, my God. And in a second, again, you're just going to have another wave of them come in as well. Just when you thought that they were done with, they come back in again. Necro Book level 3 or not. This is... Like, normally you see the slow siege up there with a hero like Shadow Fiend or something, but you can just send the illusions in there and let them hit away.
No one can deal with it. They also have 3 Force Staffs in case someone does manage to get caught out.
Tumbleman ends up going down. PL gets caught. We also have the Talisman of Evasion up now on the Naga Siren, the super value item. Buyback by the PL. Last stand here for Liquid. Do they have enough to be able to take this game 1? It's starting to feel like certainly no. Looks like Alliance actually is going to play it safe. Good discipline being shown here by them. If they're able to take a 1-0 advantage into this next game, this is huge right here for them.
Yeah, Liquid is it's maybe a little bit too slow-paced of a game for them. I'm not exactly sure what went so terribly wrong for them.
Certainly something. Shooting up. I mean, it's a pretty big net worth lead right now, and it's just going to keep growing.
They won top, mid was a wash, bottom was slight win for them.
I'm going to try and take Roche here as well.
With Song up, this could be a little bit dangerous. Looks like none of the illusions are heading over there, though.
All right. As soon as they see nobody in the base, though, they're probably... The gig is up pretty soon after that, I imagine. This Force still up. He has BKB. 10-second duration still. He's had this for a while. Hasn't even had to use his BKB yet. They do end up spying out the Winter Wyvern over there. They should know this is going on, but Roche actually is going to end up falling. So a little bit of a gift here.
They're all at half HP, though. This is this could be really bad.
Naga Siren Illusion. Song is coming in. It's going to catch onto 2. Oh, Snowball keeping a little bit of separation. This is going to end up being disgusting. Scarith Mage ends up taking out the Tusk there. Tumbleman's dropping really low as well. Kuroki off to the side, getting chased by My Nuts. This is going to be a Winter's Curse down on top of Bulldog, keeping him alive a little bit longer. Dust ends up getting popped. He is going to drop here, but at the same time, you've got the Naga Sirens coming in from behind, and this is going to be very, very bad. Nice dodge of the Manta. Doppelganger off to the other side of the river as well. My Nuts still chasing. 1-2 right clicks, enough to kill him. Aegis is going to be down. I think they have enough for a second time around, and Snare is up here. Ends up doppelganging again. Separating those illusions. There's a silence. No Manta this time.
Come back here.
Back. Come on, Matumbo Man. We want you in our tummy.
Yeah, that has to be game.
God.
Very well executed Naga strat.
Well,
decently executed. I would say top lane could have gone a little bit better, but they still did pretty well.
Yeah, and considering this was an early pick, you really would have thought that Liquid would have been able to deal with this a little bit better. Like, I'm wondering if they're going to need to try and address this with a draft. Do you first? I don't feel like you first phase ban Naga here. Like, you can formulate your draft to deal with it.
They need like an Ember Spirit, something that can get super aggressive early. I thought the PL was a decent pick because of Bat Rider, but I think like overall they were like maybe a little bit too scared of I don't know, their team fight, probably seeing the Undying very early as well as the Queen of Pain and Naga, and then just kind of drafted a lot of team fight, but it never really got to that because of the Naga. But the Naga was shown very early, so I don't exactly know where they expected to win with this. Like, what's their time frame for taking control?
Yeah, it just seemed like overall it was a bit of a strange match all in all. Like, I never really felt like Alliance was in a ton of trouble. The main reasons that they ended up having trouble, I felt like, were like the the failed ganks to some extent by S4 in the early stage. We did see Batrider get picked off in the Dire jungle up near the hard camp.
Yeah, but the game was so slow that they couldn't punish them for using their super long cooldown ultimates.
Right.
And on top of that, they had early BOTs on Phantom Lancer, but they really couldn't transition that into like kills or farm. He got outfarmed by Nanaga, and they still lost team fights along with the Silencer. I don't know. Silencer actually seemed like a big culprit here in that he did secure them top lane, but after that, Global actually seemed super useless. They got that one fight where they had to kill on Queen of Pain, but I think generally it's decent counter initiation versus Naga Siren or initiation on her, but they never got the jump on Naga.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't really have that hero. Well, I mean, I guess that they kind of did. Like the Tusk, I felt like should have been able to make that happen maybe with another hero in the lane, like you're talking about there earlier, is that maybe you end up running a dual lane there against them with a stronger hero.
Yeah, I think dual
happen.
dual laning would have been much better for them. They can have the Winter Wyvern on top, kind of sack PL's farm a little bit to make the Naga way more useless, at least in the early game. So just one game away from eliminating Liquid, the favorites.
This would be
EU.
crazy. They actually make this happen. I mean, so at this point for Alliance, like they have a game to spare. Do you think you go for like a little bit of a cheesy strat potentially to try and make it happen?
What's cheesy for them though?
I don't know. Lifestealer?
Lifestealer's a little cheesy. They didn't.
The Ancients?
They didn't like perfect it last time they really ran it. I think you just go for a strat that you've run 200 times before, which is Spectre or Naga, Anti-Mage, anything like that. Probably Terrorblade if it were in Captain's mode. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be back after a short break, see what Alliance has in store for game number 2. Liquid, 0-3 in the